Have you ever really stopped to wonder what makes you, well, you? What truly makes you tick? Understanding the core of who you are isn't just some interesting thought experiment. Nope, it's actually one of the most powerful tools you can have for personal growth and success. So today, we're going to open up that toolkit and see what's inside.
The philosopher, Jiddu Krishnamurti, really hit the nail on the head with this one. Without self-knowledge, we're basically just reacting to whatever life throws at us. But when we have it, we can start acting with real intention, with purpose. That's where the freedom comes in.
It's a huge question, right? Kind of feels a little overwhelming, to be honest. But don't worry, there's a map. And that's exactly what we're going to explore in this explainer. Okay, let's dive in.
So our map is something called a personal learning profile. Just think of it like a personal blueprint, a guide to how you think, how you feel, and how you learn. Getting this down is the absolute first step to unlocking your potential.
And here's the key thing to remember. It's not just one thing. It's a combination of a few different pieces: your personality, the unique way your brain processes information, and the habits you've built to learn new things. We're going to look at each of these pieces, and we're starting with personality.
To really decode our personalities, we're going to use this super respected framework called the Hexaco model. It's an amazing tool designed to map out the 6 core dimensions that make each and every one of us unique. Hexaco is just an acronym that stands for these 6 traits. What's cool about it is that unlike some older models, it includes honesty, humility. Researchers found that this one trait is absolutely critical for understanding things like ethical behavior and, whether you can trust someone. It's a big deal.
Okay, so here they are, the big 6. Honesty, humility, emotionality, extroversion, agreeableness, conscientiousness, and openness. The thing is, we all exist somewhere on a spectrum for each one, so let's break them down one by one.
Let's kick things off with honesty, humility. This really gets at our fundamental approach to fairness. Are you the kind of person who plays strictly by the rules, or do you see them as, well, more like flexible guidelines? And as you can see here, it's not about being good or bad. It's just about different strategies for getting through life.
All right, from fairness to feelings, let's look at emotionality. This is all about how intensely we experience emotions, things like fear, anxiety, and empathy. This one little trait shapes everything from how you react in a crisis to how deeply you connect with the people around you. Looking at these descriptions, where do you think you land? Now, for one you've probably heard of, extroversion. It's that classic question of where you get your energy from. Do you recharge your batteries by being the life of the party, or do you find your focus in quiet solitude? This is a core part of how we all manage our social energy.
How you handle disagreements is a huge part of your personality, and that's exactly where agreeableness comes in. Do you tend to forgive and look for a compromise, or is it more important for you to hold your ground? This single trait can completely define the dynamic of our teams and our relationships.
Now, conscientiousness is a trait that has a massive impact on our professional lives. It's the difference between someone with a color-coded planner and someone with more of a, let's call it a spontaneous, organized chaos approach. Neither one is wrong. But knowing your style can help you build systems that actually work for you.
And our final personality piece is openness to experience. This really gets to the heart of our curiosity. Are you drawn to abstract art and unconventional ideas, or do you find more comfort and efficiency in the practical and the familiar? You can think of it as the engine for our creativity.
Okay, so that's personality. But now we're going to go a level deeper. How does your brain actually process information? We're talking about your cognitive style. Think of it as your brain's unique operating system.
Now, sometimes these different operating systems get labeled as difficulties, like dyslexia, ADHD, or autism. But just look at these numbers. These ways of thinking are incredibly common. This shows us we really need to stop thinking of them as deficits and start seeing them for what they are, different ways of thinking that come with their own unique strengths.
Take dyslexia. Instead of focusing on reading challenges, look at these incredible cognitive strengths. We're talking about big picture thinking, amazing 3D visualization, and this incredible knack for connecting totally different ideas. That's not a deficit. That is the profile of an innovator. Or think about an autistic cognitive style. The ability to spot patterns that everyone else misses, an unbelievable attention to detail, deep logical reasoning. These are superpowers in fields like science, engineering, and data analysis.
And ADHD is so often associated with incredible creative problem solving. That boundless energy, when it gets channeled into something you're passionate about, becomes hyperfocus, a literal ability to dive deeper and work longer on a problem than almost anyone else.
Okay, now for the final piece of our profile, the learning habits we build. The assist model here shows three main approaches. The deep approach is for people who crave true understanding. The strategic approach is for the efficient achiever who's focused on getting top grades. And the surface approach is for quick memorization. Most of us are a mix, but knowing our default approach really helps us adapt when we need to.
So, when you put it all together, your personality, your brain's operating system, and your learning habits, you get this incredibly detailed map of yourself. But, so what? Why does all this self-knowledge even matter? Well, because we don't live in a vacuum. Understanding yourself is the absolute key to understanding and connecting with other people, especially those who think differently than you do.
And this isn't just some nice feel-good idea. It has real bottom-line results. Research from McKinsey found that companies with more diverse executive teams, and that means more diversity in thinking and background, are 25% more likely to be more profitable. Bringing different minds together just leads to better problem solving. It's a fact.
But, and this is really important, respecting uniqueness has a limit. The key idea here is the harm principle. We should absolutely respect differences in personality, in thinking styles, in preferences, but we should never tolerate behavior that is discriminatory, abusive, or harms other people. That's where we draw the line.
And that's the real takeaway here. The tools we've looked at today, they're just the beginning. True self-understanding isn't a destination you just arrive at one day. It's a lifelong journey of reflection, of learning, and most importantly, of being willing to grow.
So, I'll leave you with this question to think about. Now that you have this toolkit, what are your greatest assets? What are your superpowers? And what's one small step you can take today to start building on those strengths for the future that you want to create?